He out-Republican partied the Republican, every Republican operative. What?
You know where that comes from? What? Everyone playing the same instrument all the time.
All the time, just passing it around.
Yeah, you know,
and not smiling. See, that's what happens when your color guard doesn't smile. You get Trumps.
So you get not smiling color guards. You got people throwing rifles at each other.
Fake rifles though, like they're not brave anymore.
And
I think they have something to smile. They're not getting a literal like bolt action rifle lobbed at their head. They should smile.
And then to top it all off, everybody's playing the same instrument. Man, it's a weird era. Bork and I were talking about this. The 1920s were so much more. It was so much better than the 2020s.
Were they though?
Really?
They were more prosperous. They were more fun.
The roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s. I told him these are the farting.
Okay.
These are the farting 20s.
Okay, so
this is our 20s. No, there was horrible racism, yes, and there was still plenty of sexism and racism. No, that stuff.
World War I, just like
that was in the teens.
But I mean, it's like just ended.
The aftermath of it.
But the aftermath of it, but we prospered. So the 1920s was a big decade, and then
it's kind of Europe that had to like deal with the entire.
We did fine. We prospered after World War I.
It's Europe that had to deal with the entire generation of dead men.
Exactly, and then we also prospered after World War II, but we had to do a little bit more cleaning up after that, though. But no, the 20s, that's why they call them the Roaring 20s until that dark day in October of 1929.
Yeah.
The robber barons, burst the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, you're coming around World War I, like, their 20s had that issues of
you never hear but good things come out of the 20s, like
they
the
sort of cover up the Jim Crow and the
that's what actually like births all that is after World War I.
There was some awful crap in there, yes, but then the motion picture industry really took off in the 20s. That's when they started making long full length motion pictures, and and then everything.
Yeah, the 1929.
Prosperity was great, and then
1929 thumbs down.
Yeah, did Prohibition start in the early 20s or the early 30s? I forget.
20s, I think.
Early 20s.
I think it's 20s.
See that, and then that's
because like the rich people didn't have to pay, like that didn't hurt them.
That's right. Yeah. It ended in the early 30s because everybody was like, you know what, you've suffered enough. Here, drink your alcohol.
Because too many people were drinking tub gin.
Yeah. Yeah,
they're drinking tub punch. They're Pork's tub punch.
But that was another.
And it's making them go blind.
But that was another reason why the 20s was so prosperous, because all the underlord criminals were selling bootleg liquor everywhere.
Because they're buying something that was essentially like it could be turned into alcohol, but it was a cleaning product.
Yeah.
And they started putting something in it to basically poison people who drank it.
And then 100 years later, we actually had a president tell everybody to put cleaning supplies into their body.
Exactly.
So,
the 20s came back.
Yeah. Wow, it comes full circle.
Drink that bleach.
Mm-hmm.
Keep our country gay.
Love it. Love it.
Should we? Yeah,
well, hold that thought. Oh, stand by.
Volunteer Radio is WUTK 90.3 FM, Knoxville, Tennessee, UT's College of Rock.
Hey, a short one for a change. I'll take that.
The guy gets to the point. It's the girl.
Here it is. This is the station, WUTK. Also, quick shout out. We had a request earlier.
Some Alice in Chains, but this is the boy band.
This is the boy band show, and I said, and I'm sorry if you heard this, but I was like, we never get requests for this show. But then somebody hears a boy band, they're like, I want to hear Alice in Chains. We're gonna get to it next week, I promise. It wouldn't be mean, but this is the boy band special. We've been promoting it all week.
I mean, they want something heavy. We just played "Hanging Tough" by New Kids on the Block. What's heavier than that?
It doesn't get much more. It doesn't get much more intense than that, right?
Are you rough? They ask it.
They ask it. Yeah. It was the toughest song to come out since "Bad" by Michael Jackson.
Exactly. I mean, it was the follow up. Like
it really was. It literally was around the same time.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had a dance off. Because when we get to the right stuff, I want everyone to remember the scissor dance that they did.
Yes.
It was like rocking gingerbread men. Because they're tough.
And they all played the same instruments.
They did.
By the way, color guards, not to be confused with Cologuard, which is where you poop in a box and send it off to see if you have anything wrong with it.
Well, you poop in a bag and put the bag in the box.
Put the bag in the box, and then you send it off.
It's completely different.
And they see if there's something wrong with it.
It's so weird you bring that up. So my husband and I were talking about that the other day. He's like, how do they, like, I'm like, you poop in, like, it's like, basically like a Ziploc bag big enough for your toilet seat.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you know this? I'm like, I don't know, just things I know. And he's like.
It's just random stuff.
Yeah, and then he's like, Yeah, that's got to be the worst job, to be like the poop opener.
People go to school for that, though. Well, not for that, but like doctors to examine your poop.
Yeah, but like that, like when you like you're the poop opener, like that's terrible because you like every day you use like different consistencies and bags.
You know, there's an intern that has to do that. Like you have to open
Yeah.
it first. Take that initial blast.
Because even if there's like, I was like, well, maybe they have like a machine that has like a needle or, but somebody's got to open the box and put the poop bag into the machine. Either way, it's like, that's the worst job.
Nobody deserves that. They really don't.
Nobody does. That is what the 20s bring you. That's the
2020s. That is the 2020s right there. I told you.
The poop
I told
machine.
you. This is the 2020s. That is our decade right now. We don't have a roaring 20s. We've got the farting 20s.
I think that I would not, like, I guess the way I think about the 20s is that was a very deep divide. Like, yeah, you hear about the roaring 20s, but that was like 5 families. Like, the rest of them, they were starving. They were getting into the grapes of wrath era.
People had more money then than they did, obviously, in the 30s.
Yeah.
Everybody suffered it. Even rich people, rich folks suffered in the 30s. I don't like to defend rich people, and I don't like to defend anything of prosperity, because there's always a maniacal reason for it. So, because
I just think about, I'm like, for that level of decadence, the way capitalism works is you have to have its correspondent.
Yeah.
But we're getting there now. So
But historically, you never hear but good things about the 1920s. But people are going to look back on the 2020s, and they're going to say that was the farting 20s.
I mean, it's so weird that we look back and we're like, oh, when those people were just stealing oil and like killing people in labor factories, that was the good old days compared to what it is today.
The 1920s, man, that was an exciting time.
Insane when we're like, The Great Gatsby is actually a good book.
Great Gatsby, but then you also had Charlie Chaplin on the big screen. He married like underage people. I shouldn't go back.
He did.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, I do want to see his like Hitler monologue. Somebody recently said that.
Oh, from The Great Dictator.
Yeah.
That is a great monologue. Yeah.
They said that that's like really come back to being poignant now.
Oh God,
today, too.
it's been poignant for the last few years. Yes.
So that's interesting.
No, I have that movie on DVD. It's my favorite movie of his. I love it. It was his first talkie too.
His first talk, yeah.
It came out in 1940.
And he absolutely had a voice that you would think he would have.
Yeah, he's got a little man voice.
Yeah, like it's exactly how you'd imagine it. Like, yeah, and he has like that speech pattern of how
Yes, he
he
does.
walks.
He talks like this.
So
Charlie Chaplin,
interesting.
he always used to speak like this. Very fast, very high, very staccato. That's how he talked.
Who do we have coming up next for our boy bands?
I don't know.